All right. Good evening. Welcome to part two of my 2007 Port Road trip. This one's going to be a little less varied than yesterday, but definitely quite interesting. Mainly because it comes with a story. That's what I was trying to prepare for it. So there's an interesting feature of the what came to be the Port Road, but it's really came along more with the in conjunction with the low grade line. We mentioned the low grade line yesterday. That large trestle. Now it's a bike path. You can just go right along it. I definitely want to go back there. I realized that the time that I actually did the bike path was in 2013. So it's been well over a decade since I've gone out there. But in 2007, there was a very special feature on this northern part of the Port Road. Now, a lot of the stuff on the Port Road, as I've mentioned, is very inaccessible. I was able to get to some of these. You saw the locations I could get to because you drive down to the dam. There were a bunch of other locations, specifically signal locations where it's like, go to a state park and then go down this thing. So because it's if you look at the terrain mapping here, the Port Road is in a very on the edge of a very steep cliff on the Susquehanna River, and it makes getting to various locations exceedingly difficult. And so at what is it? At Susquehanna State Park, it's like, oh, you sort of find where there's like an erosion channel or a stream or something to go down there. So why do I care about going down to the Port Road? Yeah, signals are important. But at this point, most of the signals, even in this area where I'm at, are on their way out. What I wanted to see was one of the Shoo Flies. What these were 3 locations where they built the low grade line and they had issues. The Port Road came first. Then they built this low grade line above it, and they were having issues with streams causing washouts. So the solution was to make a concrete. You remember the low grade line came in like to 1905. In 1915, they'd come in with a stream. They'd bury it under the low grade line and above the Port Road, and in sort of what's technically an aqueduct or something else. People call them shoe flies. That's not necessarily the most accurate term. A shoe fly is like when you build a temporary track. But this is what they became to be known as. And for the longest time, they were generally described as being only accessible by boat or if you really want to hike. Because you had to start at there weren't a lot of access points. So you'd have to go like there and walk all the way down like 5 miles to the location. And back. There are 3 of them: Fry's Run, Fisherman's Run, and Mann's Run. Again, they just look like locations on the map, but if we go to the terrain, you can just see how steep. Like you're for most of these paces, you're not getting in there unless you sort of go, okay, well, like Fry's Run, you can get up here on the road. Where is that? But where are you going to park? It's sort of, there you are. I guess you could sort of pull off, and then you got to hike down through the stream bed. I don't know. See, but there's a house there, and you don't know who's there. There's farms all along here. Like, how are you going to get down to the right-of-way? Again, the right-of-way back then was unimproved. It was used. There was an ATV track for Amtrak pickup trucks for the 138 kV power line. It was basically a power right of way. And on the Port Road, there was nowhere to walk. No way to get down there. So when I was noodling this problem, I noticed that there was a landfill, county landfill there, not a farm where someone's going to shoot you. And adjacent to the landfill was a park, and I could just see. Now, this was 2007, so you didn't really have street view, and I didn't see this at the time. So I figured, landfill, we'll park here, and we'll walk down this road. You know, you can see that there was landfill-y stuff, but it looked like it is today. Like, there's the active landfill. This just looks like wooded land. There's some roads on it. We'll just go that road to that road down this way. Now, again, 2007, very limited Google overhead. Probably not even this. Like, if anything, I could barely see things in this area. So go down that road there. Sorry, not that road. This road here, and it will go all the way down to Mann's Run, and you can just go right down Mann's Run, maybe about 400 feet, 600 feet, and you'd be at the Shoefly. One of these are like the holy grail of like rail fanning. My friend had done the walk like 20 miles in a day. He got photos of them. I know I wasn't getting a train picture, but I really want to picture one of these Shoeflies. So what we did, I don't have any photos of this, but you know, we parked there, and then we noticed like, oh crap, the landfill's fenced off. But this fence that went along the playing fields didn't have barbed wire, and it was low. Basically, if kids kicked their soccer ball over it, they were going to look the other. They didn't want to have to make that a big deal, so they just kind of made a lower fence. Kids would scale it, get the ball, come back. You know, no harm, no foul. So we didn't know the fence was there, but when we saw it, it's like, oh, hey, great. We'll go over that, no biggie. Walk down the road, and as I'm going down here, I'm sort of like, this is fenced. You know, you know, what if someone comes by? Like, we're probably not supposed to be here. And so we started going a little quicker at some point. Now, I can't remember the exact timeline, but like we got down here, and you have the other problem with the fence is that there was an exit fence right there. But again, there was a gate. We looked around, and there was like a drainage thing over in here, and we were able to squeeze our way out from under the fence. And at that point, right down the road, and then down into Mann's Run and down to the Shoefly. Now, the way back, things got a little spicy, but I'll address that later. But, you know, we just sort of this was a casual stroll going down the road. And I think at some point we're like, maybe we should pick up the pace a little bit. Like, you know, what if someone comes by? Here's the river right-of-way that we came down here. This is Mann's Run. Beautiful little thing. Nice stuff in the fall. I need to make sure I got stuff here. I'm definitely doing a lot of name changes. I was able to... Today, you just go down the bike path, and it's easy peasy. Everyone sees them. They're no big deal. But... and that was only, 5 years or so after I did this harrowing trek through a landfill site. Oh, where's the damn man? I'm trying to find a thing here. Anyway. Yeah, today there's 100% no reason to use this path, but at the time, basically most people said go get a boat because there's no way you're ever going to access any of these. So here we have, again, this is inside the Shoefly. You come right out. That's the old ANS, and now I'm over the Port Road, and then there's there's Amtrak's 138 kV lines, and that's the active 6.9 kV 100 hertz signal line actually still used by NS there. Huh, that's strange. I'm like missing a picture here. I'm also need to check how I did these. Okay. So I did come back here. That's from 2013. I think I know what I'm going to do with these to get them aligned. Very, again, very pretty foliage that year. Oops. So these, again, they've held up pretty well for something that was built in, So actually, I don't think these were built. The troughs weren't built in 1913. The upper portion, the overpass, I think was, and then the troughs were built later. These look like something that were built in the 1930s. Today, it's also still pretty trivial to even get into the trough itself. There's a little low fence for the around the thing. You just go around it and just walk down into it. No one really has a problem with it. I mean, or is there to stop you. I can definitely tell you that this was super thrilling to be in. Like I'd seen these, I'd known about these for forever, and being able to complete this mission to get down and see them for real was really cool. Here we have the lip of the Shoefly. Normally, the water flow rate on these is pretty sedate. We have looking down. Very, again, this without barring a storm. The wind is very interesting. You get a lot of wind in the Susquehanna. So as the water falls, it gets blown. You can just sort of look over at the waterfall being blown to the side. See, here it is. Huh. That's weird. There's some stuff that's having orientation issues. It's from 2013. Here you have the view looking east or railroad east. One second. And here we have the edge of the Shoefly looking west to a degree. I did not want to fall off the edge here and get into the water. For sure. And you can see there's the original Glen Susquehanna ANS overpass. So that would have happened first, that bit with the stone, and then all this reinforced concrete, I think, came in the 20s or the 30s. Every so often I need to check to see how this is all working. I mentioned to my friend that we were long overdue about going over here and cycling on this. So I'm going to probably pencil this in for next fall. Or maybe the spring. Oh, maybe the spring. Wondering what was going on with this. Nice to see the plants sort of growing in here. Little ecosystem going on. It is interesting about how where the water runs, it has been eroding the concrete, but the rest of it is very pristine. You can even see the formwork still in place. Here we have the again the side of the east wall of the trough, and then the 138 kV lines just visible with the trees. the heck? There we go. And here we have another one. Like the first, just a little wider. Oh, that's our first bit gone. Yep, just checking them. All right. Let those load. Let's see if everybody else has any questions here. Is the chat working? Anywho. So back then, so today, while you can have easy access to the trough, to the upper end of the Shoefly, they have sort of locked down. They put, because it's a bike trail, they have put a little, a not impassable but somewhat annoying fence line between the bike trail and the Port Road, even though there's also like a cliff there. So it's definitely harder to go and get the money shots of the Shoefly over a train or something. Oh, poop. Let's see here. I'll show you an example of what I'm talking about. This is in Pennsylvania. Oh, the old flyover was... So, at some point I'm going to go through these photos with you guys to rename them. I just need to find the Shoefly ones. To show you what the some of the stuff. Oh, there's one. One of them were near a signal location even. Here they are. Because my friend, he really wanted a picture of the Shoefly with a train in it. I'm not sure which one this is. It's not the one I'm in right now. But that's the one he was able to get. I think you get if you get there early enough on a Saturday morning, you can get in there for that sort of stuff. Anyway. So here we have again the ANS bridge looking upward. And here we have the side of the trough looking down toward the Port Road. it's very, like I said, it's I'm sure there's like more proper terms for these. Here we have some leaks on the underside. Wasn't leaking a lot. This will probably become a problem at some point, but so far, not really. And here we have our under the shoe fly showing the Susquehanna River, the waterfall being blown, being sort of the water droplets being blown to one side by the wind, and the Port Road here. Really nice lighting with the sun too. Lighten up that water drops. Here we are on the Port Road, looking looking east. I should try to get the milepost on this. So the question is this Mann's Run? No. Did he get to... Yeah, that's not the one I was on for this one. So I'm trying to figure out where these are. Okay, that's a 35.69. Oh, they're going to be written on the inside of the legs. Oh, I can't see. There it is. It looks like 38.94. I might want to review that one again. I need number 103 here. Ugh. All right, give me 196. I just need to, like, brighten the frick out of this. Something point, might be 36.94. I can do better than that. I need 103. There it is. Oh, come on. Is that 38 or 36? I don't know. It looks like an 8. I can just check this. I have the thing here. Harbour is at... West Harbour is at 33.2. So I just got to check it. The old West Harbour, which used to be like right there. I highly recommend this bike trail, by the way. It's really cool. It gets you to all these neat locations. It goes really fast like most bike trails do these days. 3.7 miles from 33.2. So it's 36.9. Okay, good. All right. There it is. Not 38, 36. So 36.9. So here's another question is, how do I do my Port Road stuff? Infrastructure, NS, Enola Branch, Harrisburg Line, Morrisville, Port Road. Okay, milepost, and then a thing. Just Port Road. 36.9 eastward. Yep, and here we have the underside of Mann's Run Shoefly with the Port Road code line that was still marginally in service. Lead line, lead wrapped. There's your PVC wrapped one, and the other one's an original lead line telecom, lead line code line. And here we have the edge of it. Nice picture. Again, this is the kind of thing you don't typically get to see on the bike trail. And this is the amount of water is all pretty the same in dry conditions like this. Oops. One more. There it goes. And here we have the whole, oops, here we have the whole thing. Probably do this as a Port Road photo. That's pretty. And here's that other photo I had before. Do I need both of these? Huh. Oh, these are just me trying to get like nice waterfall ones. Oh, it's that time of year again where I need to figure out how I spell silhouette. There it is. Are you gonna let me like copy that? Shitty off-brand Google. Oh God, I hate this. I need to change my browser in this back. And do one for the other side. You can see how that water is bending the droplets. Very cool effect. I placed myself just inside where the shadow was. While most things are backlit, I didn't get lens flare in the camera. Today with a oh, there's milepost 37 hiding just behind the thing there. Today with a digital camera with HDR, that would have been absolutely fantastic. Slow-mo, all sorts of stuff you could have done with that. But so around 2011, they went and chopped down most of these poles. Not some entirely, some just at the point where they need them. I don't know if they did in here. It looks like they're still there on this one. I guess there's just not enough metal for them to go after it. Kind of a shame. This is one of the neatest. The whole low-grade freight system on the PRR was definitely a really neat bit of engineering. All right, last photo of this set. Just the other leg of the shoe fly here, or the other angle, I should say. Normally, I try to avoid naming conventions where I name something after, or I name something like after the thing that it is. I much prefer the milepost method. That definitely helps with, scrolling through photos and coming up upon them. But in this case, I sort of made an exception, mainly because they're. Do you assign them to the Atklin and Susquehanna? Do you assign these to the Port Road? If the Port Road is the thing that's there, yes. In this case, you're seeing the Shoefly itself, so the Shoefly sort of becomes a neutral party in all of this. All right, that's it for this second round. I really can't. There it goes. Oh. Duh. I guess I don't need either of those two right or left ones. Might want to redo those, actually. Whatever. I did them already. I was trying to get a variety for the wind. So here I have the other direction for of the Shoefly for the Port Road. I'll be right back to the thing in a second. Oh, I didn't check the chat. That's what I meant. There we go. I'm, yes, right by Safe Harbor Dam, but this is the furthest Shoefly from Safe Harbor Dam. Yeah. So this is the furthest you can get from Safe Harbor. I think the other two are closer, and this is the odd one out. I saw a thing. There was in an early online sort of bloggy thing called Eastern Rail News. They did a whole little subject on the Shoeflies, the history behind them, how to get to them. I really, really need to do a bike trip on this again. Did not have much time in October this year, but I absolutely want to go and do it again. I even have a better bike system than I used to. The Veterans Day weekend. When is Veterans Day going to be next year? I think it's it's a Wednesday. That's a weird day to deal with. You really can't turn it into a weekend. Oh, and here we have the trough from above. What's interesting is that the camera that when I went back in 2023, I had my third generation camera, which I'd switched to Canon after Olympus really went, these were never professional grade, but you can at least give me, like, shutter priority. And then they stopped. I'm like, okay, that's a deal breaker. I need some amount of stuff here. What am I saying here? Canons, unfortunately, while they're fine for my needs, they are very cool. that they're constantly, especially in bright sunlight, they skew cold. I have to color correct everything in those damn things. Oh, it's such a pain. So if we go here to my 2013 photos, did I just not take a photo of looking outward from it? Man, I just did not take a lot of photos. See, I guess I didn't take a lot of photos at Mann's Run because I'd already been there. But again, you can still see that it's kind of blue. I worked really hard to try to deal with that. Yep, there's that blob of concrete that they had there. But the old Olympus really had way better color rendering. Now here's the photo. I'm so angry I screwed up. I'm so angry I screwed this up. It is blurry as all get out. I had this beautiful, like, front lit photo of the ANS right of way with fall colors, and it's blurry. Oh, I'm so angry that I screwed this up. I gotta get way ahead of wherever I am here. So, and this photo you can't take again because it's now a bike trail. Like this is what it looks like. Well, that's not quite what it looks like. Do I even have any stuff of what it looks like? Oh, there's your picture of the Port Road from Mann's Run. Oh, that's Fry's Run, the Shoefly, looking the other way. So I'm trying to find where I have like actual ANS mileposts. Huh. I guess I just phoned it in. So the issue is that, yeah, I have like great pictures of ANS mileposts, but I don't know where they are. I don't, I can't baseline stuff on them. Just the general idea of where they're at. Crap. Oh, remember I mentioned those cranes? These are the old school ones as of 2013. And they're, from what I can tell, they're still there. I gotta go online. Maybe I can find some videos of them moving around or a video from inside. Well, one thing I can do is I can go to my PRR diagrams. Can I get a milepost? This whole system with these a flyover ramp here, because again, this was the like NS Harrisburg line or Conrail Harrisburg line of the PRR. New York, Trenton cut off Thorndale, and then right around here, and then as soon as Conrail stitched its stuff together, whoop, there it goes. So this is where Mann's Run is. It's right in here. So I'm looking at about milepost 31. A little hard to determine, but yeah, it's what I got. Where is this? I think that's like I had these. 32.5, 30.9 for the signals. hold on. Maybe I can actually resurrect this. Oh, that's weird. There it goes. Okay. 32.5. If I go to this, it's 31 east. Okay, the 32W signal is exactly at Cress. Yes, okay. I can do that. So that's 32.5. There's Cress. Interlocking is right there. So I can then distance measure that from there. So it's about 1.3, 31.2. Okay, close enough to 31, but I just wanted to check that. So again, it looks just really cool with how like wild it was back then. There's the little access thing. I think that these two wires, this is the one that's in service. These 6.9 kV ones are in service, and this ones to the right are not. The wires have been cut, and then since the time the wires have been taken down. Like today, if you go on the, yeah, see here the wires are gone, but in 2007 they were still up, even though that circuit was out of service. This is ultimately the circuit that will go up the Royalton branch and connect at Roy Interlocking to power Harrisburg. This would go up the other side of the river to Enola. There are two or three substations on the Enola branch. Yeah, so this is nice here, but not as nice as the other one. I just wasn't paying attention and it was soft. Oh. We have the upper trough. Just getting this dealt with here. Yeah, there's a lot of weird concrete stuff. I'm not sure if that... So that's like rock. I'm not sure what they just... It's probably all erosion control. They just sort of dumped concrete and let it dry. Nice rock formation here. So this is the sort of thing I can assign to the ANS. And here we have the 25 kV lines. The question is, how do I label those? Eastbound. And looks like I slipped back down for another photo under the bridge for some reason. Oops, there we go. Just trying to keep the size of these under control. And the upper trough, again, looking upward. So remember, we came in via the upper trough. We came down Mann's Run to get here. Alright, and the waterfall. It's a little wider view of the waterfall here. Perfect. One last one here. Upper trough. Yeah, there's definitely some water action here, but this, unless you're in a storm, I don't think you see a lot of water on this. And the fall tends to get a little dry anyway. Alright, that's it for that set. So the question becomes, how far towards cola stuff do we want to do? Yeah, this looks good. 38. So I'll just go to here. How much more do I have to do for the next 3 days? Let's see. 160. Yep. I'll go to this one then. So as we load that, thank you for all paying attention. Any questions here? So, yep, that's Mann's Run Shoe Fly. I might have a couple more photos of it. but that's the general gist. Huh. Now, how many of these do I actually have versus do I skip? Oh, here we go. Yeah, so I was definitely coming up a lot of these waterfalls. So these are just a couple of waterfall pictures. Let me just clear through these here pretty quick. Sorry, just finishing this. So I'm gonna. I do have some additional story elements. So here we are. We're heading back. Mission accomplished. All we've got to do is get back through the thing. So I just wish I could remember, like, what order this stuff took place in, because it may or may not matter. At some point, as we were heading back up, hold on, I'll illustrate this in a second. What? Oh, there we go. 1 second. Sorry. So, I can't remember. I think that when we came down, we just... Oh, I wish I could remember the order, the damned order of operations. Wait, I think I captured this in the original in the post. All right, let's. I'm trying to figure out where I would have it available. Nope, that's not it. That it? Okay, here we go. That's not it. I'm going to go to my other blog and go to 2007 September, November Port Road trip. All right. Blah, blah, blah. Same photos you just saw here. Oh, I got some videos on this too. Did I actually mention what happened or not? I'm just trying to get the detail. Okay. Again, I apologize that this is sort of stalling. I'm trying to. Oh, that's cool. We got this nice backlit backlit view here of the waterfall. So this was actually pretty close to everything. I'm trying to like recreate this in my mind because I remember on the way down, we walked down. We're like, at some point, we're like, oh, what if someone like drives down here? And we're like, yeah, that's not going to happen. We get out from the fence because we find the little the little zone, and when we come back, I can't remember the order of operations. I think we came back. We walked up the road. There's my buddy. We walked up the road, and we saw the gate was open. And like, we know that that gate was not open. We looked around, and, you know, like, we have no idea, like, how the heck, you know, what the heck we're going to do. We don't want to crawl back under the thing. So I look around, and I'm just like, let's, you know, I don't see a truck or anything. I'm just like, let's book it. So we just like, hold on. I need to illustrate this somehow. All these stupid-ass waterfall photos I'm trying to get through here. Oh my gosh, this is annoying. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we're coming up. Get rid of this. We're coming up from Mann's Run. There's a road, so the gate is there, and the road sort of goes down. You can even see that there's the track. It connects. Who knows where the heck it connects? It goes somewhere. You can see the dirt road. So there's dirt road down in this area. If you want to see the terrain, see, you can see how this is way preferable than trying to go down the cliff. This is the route that we came down because it was very advantaged. So we get to this point right here, and the gate is open. And I can't remember if I heard as we were walking up, if I heard like the truck or something go by, or I heard people opening it or something. But we were coming up this road, and I see the gates open. I'm like, oh, that's right. I guess there are people around here. This probably isn't great. So I basically tell my friend, like, I don't want to crawl under the fence, and I don't want to hide until someone comes back. We didn't see anything, so we just start booking it. Because we knew that all we had to do was get to, like, this point. And then we were off the track. So we just start running our butts up this way. I think that at some point we did see the truck go by. That's what I'm not entirely sure. I think that we were down here or something, and we heard the gate opening, and we hung out in the woods, and like the truck went by. And then we came back, and I just can't remember all of the details. But we did basically run, and I don't know if we did see the truck drive back up. Like, I don't know if we got off the road. I don't think we had to hide in the woods and watch it pass. But we did book it up here. We got off the track, and we just, you know, got our way back to the baseball diamond, climbed the fence, got in the car, and we're on our way. So, you know, in hindsight, you know, it didn't seem to be that bad going down. Here's some of the stuff that I'm a little annoyed that I missed on, like, the Port Road. You know, like this thing of signals here. But again, 2007, I still wasn't of the mindset of getting all this. My friend Pat had gotten photos of all these. So I'm like, okay, we got them. Like basic photos. They're ones in my Port Road trip series. This is the Enola branch. L is the prefix of the Enola, the old Enola line signals. 351. Let's see how I would do this. This would be Enola branch. There they are. Man, these are so close to the road, I could have just, like, gone up there and gotten pictures of these. Oh. And this stuff got re-signaled not that long after. I never really went back. Oh, man. These are the ABS signals that are between Cola and, or the old man, Cola and the other stuff. Where would have these have been? Probably somewhere down in here. Oh, well, there's the new ones. See, that's another thing that's interesting. NS started doing 562, but this wasn't early enough in their signal in their resignaling. Yeah, this is where it would have been. This is early enough in their resignaling that they still did ABS in here. Huh, that's weird. I don't see any signals. Oh, 35-2W, 35-1W. All right, that's not them there. They were somewhere else in this area. Probably right in here. Oh, that's what they would have been. Right there. Yep, there they are. Man. Yeah, this was just a year later. It looks like they cut down a bunch of brush, too. Anywho. Let's see. Let me go to my signaling. Let's see how I did this. And a Chicago line, Lehigh line. I've got to have some Enola branch in here. There it is. Signal, okay. So anything with an L on it? Yeah, at a certain point they started putting L's on things, or they took the L's off. Oh, man. Man, I regret not getting these things. Okay, it's L351. Mass, westbound. I knew I had places to be that day too. So there's a, I'm going to finish up with just starting up at Kola interlocking. Kola was, again, major junction on the low-grade freight system. Sister tower to Thorn, CTC console, even though most of its trackage was not CTC. The main junction is between the Columbia branch and the Enola branch, or the ANS. The two lines, the two freight cutoffs, were the Columbia branch, which cuts off from Lancaster to Columbia, which was a part of the original Philadelphia and Columbia Railroad. So the main line went here, and then eventually they built the Lancaster to Royalton part. And the ANS goes a little south and then cuts in. I always was confusing the two, didn't quite how they work together, you know, when I was like a kid. So, neat bit, when you come in, this signal survived, 52R, coming off the unsignaled Columbia branch. But this one did too, the 56R. Let me find Kola. And it was very weird, and I didn't know about it again until it was like too late. Upper Bay, Marion, Rock, Midway, Harbour, Kola. So there we have the 52R, and that 56R was still up there, and there was even like a approach signal. Oh man, I missed a lot of stuff. So things like the 56R are the bits that really annoy me, because it would have just been sort of up there and around the corner, and I just wasn't aware of it. If we go into Columbia, there's the Columbia branch. The 52R is right there by the thing, and the 56R probably, who knows, is somewhere up in here. Just no real clue where it would have been. Yeah, full coverage. Can't see through that. Oh, there we go. Well, there's the approach. That's probably where it was. Today it has one of those, like, you know, approach whatever signals. Probably still might go out there at some point. Yep, this is the only thing at that. Yep, there's the approach marker. Might actually display approach normal, which would be cool. And I think I can see the mount for the old signal right there. Yep, that's where it was. It was right there. The 56L at the 56 at Cole, whatever that signal is. Dang, another one that got away. Oh, so close. Oh. Anyway. Yeah, that 56R, just stop and slow approach. Let's get these last few done so we can get out of here. Here we go. You can see, like that granite wall there, that this is a very old right-of-way. And of course, the old code line is going down there to feed that 56R signal. Man, I don't know anyone who'd. That's the shame. It's like I don't even know anyone who'd have a picture of that. That's another lesson. There's always that's where you find the weird signals, those sort of weird out of the way places. That's where you find the cool stuff. On unsignaled track approaching and interlocking, you'll find a really cool distant, like on the buoy, on the Pope's Creek secondary, the caution only position light that's still down there. So here we have Cola Tower back there, the grade crossing, and the 52R. Yeah, the beauty of this is, like, even up through the Conrail era, this was unre-signaled, even though the tower was closed, because it was all CTC. They just put on a computerized interface. So this would be the 52R plus the whatever street that is crossing. Front street. I think there's only one train that routinely does this. It's like NSH21, and it's basically the daily Enola to Dillerville Yard in Lancaster. It's more than a local freight, but less than a mainline freight, a road freight. Ugh. Here we have the 52R by itself. Again, that bottom head, you might think that's restricting, but it's slow approach only. But also, they can also give stop and proceed here, which I assume that it did. A lot of the old electrification infrastructure is still up in Columbia. Thankfully, they have not. Amtrak has not monopoded that the line here. And usually we'll, like, cut these down, but I like everything in this frame here. Well, maybe not some of them. See, I don't want to get that. There's like a pole there that's kind of useless. That's fine, I guess. I guess I can cut this part to the tower. I don't really need that in there today. Okay, that's better. Oh, it's 52L, not 52R. Wait, what is it? This says 50. Why am I getting my L's and R's all mixed up? Like, consistently, when I did this before, I'm getting, like, them all backwards. Man, I should have come back to Cola. I think by the time I came back to it, I'd missed the chance. Yeah, just think about this time period. I didn't drive around. I didn't go a lot of places. Today I'm driving all over the place on rail missions, but you know, 2007 I really wasn't doing that as much. as the re-signaling all over the place started really picking up. So see, this is before the whole PTC crap. That happened in 8. So, you know, I figured that, yeah, you know, stuff might get re-signaled, but the pace was still pretty slow. And the PTC mandate, I knew was gonna eat all this stuff alive. So that's when I started picking up the pace. But I was definitely in a more of a mood to not do a lot of stuff. I just, you know, relatively new at a job. Inexperienced. I could drive, but I hadn't really been driving around a lot, being in school and whatnot. Yeah, it's just with my old camera, I definitely had an excuse because I could only take 90 pictures at a time. Today, I don't know what, like, I'm guessing to a degree it was time. I used every minute of this day when I was out there. And you'll see in the other parts how much of pictures I got. But again, compared to what I do now, it's not nearly as much. Goodness. Really bright. What's interesting is how new the bottom head on this signal is. This one there. Like, compared to the... It's like, this looks like something happened, and they went and put in a brand new set of... And these aren't like Safe Train either. These are PL modules. They look absolutely brand new. Compared to the upper one, well, the modules look better, but, you know, compared to all the rust and everything, that's interesting how that lower head is just really looking nice. And whatever this is a section brake. It's interesting, yeah, they still have all the section brake crap and stuff there. All the motors. So let's look like, what is that? 51E section brake, S1E. Actually, the operators could control the section breakers inside on the CTC machine. Fun fact. What's crazy, that stuff's still there. Oh, don't. This hasn't been used in 40 something years, and it's all still sort of hanging on there. That cola's still hanging in there. Last time I was around there was during the pandemic. And there's still one window left. Sorry. I'm just checking the thing, so I can't quite tell what section breaker that was. It's like the last photo. All right, that should be it. All right. Anyway, I want to get to Cola tomorrow. We'll talk about that. A lot of fun stuff still to come. Let me see if we have any fun photos of things here. Thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow, and you guys have a wonderful night. And tomorrow we're going to be hitting up Cola Tower and a whole bunch of stuff around there. And then the last couple of days we're going to be doing Stell interlocking and CORK, and going to the Lititz section of CORK. So lots of cool stuff at Cola. Even got a train going by. And then we'll be heading to Stell and then CORK. All right. I'll see you guys later. Let me know if you have any questions. You can throw them in the chat. Oh, you